Rather than large, welcome back to Cossy's Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in all parts of the world. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a brand new video. So MYKYAYLO is our priority signing of the January transfer window. Mikel Arteta has zeroed down on him. And in this video, we're going to be diving into him as a player. How does he fit in our Arsenal? What kind of formations can we use? How many formations can we use? And exactly where does he play in this Arsenal side? I think it's going to be a very, very harsh video to Gabriel Martinelli, because in the end, I think it's going to be one player to drop out of the starting 11 to accommodate a record signing. For me, I think it's going to be a record signing, and that could be Gabriel Martinelli. Hit the like button if you agree with me. Hit the like button if you disagree with me. But in the comment section, let me know if it's not Gabriel Martinelli dropping out of the starting 11 to accommodate MYKYAYLO, then what do you think? How do we use both of them, and how do we use them effectively in the same lineup? Now, first and foremost, I think the Arsenal fan base really loves this guy. He's really had a very good start to the campaign in Shakhtar Donetsk. And personally, I'm not going to lie, out of all the options we have, he's the player I like the most. He's more electric, he's faster. I think he's got that kind of flair that I really love when it comes to left-footed players. And also, he's very young. He's only 22 years of age. So if Arsenal are going to sign him, there is a real chance we're going to be getting real value for money. Now, I want us to dive into how he lines up at Shakhtar, how he lines up at Ukraine, and that will give us a picture probably of how he loves to play, how he's been used before, and how Mikel Arteta will be using them in, using him in future lineups. So at Shakhtar, they predominantly play that 4-1-4-1 system. He plays on the left-hand side of that midfield four in front of Stepanenko, and then you have MUDRYK, you have Sudakov, you have Shived, and then you have Zubakov at times playing and dropping into that back four or midfield four, and then at times him playing as a lone striker. So he loves playing on the left hand side, just where Gabriel Martinelli plays, and I think this is where I say it's gonna be a very harsh video for Gabriel Martinelli. So if you look at how he's been used on Ukraine as well, at times Andrei Shevchenko for Ukraine plays that 4-1-4-1 system as well, very close to what MYKYAYLO actually plays with at Shakhtar. It's a 4-1-4-1 system where Stepanenko still plays as a solo midfield pivot. MUDRYK and then the likes of Yarmolenko sit in front of him, and then the lone striker at times is Dovbyk, right? So look, that shows you where he actually loves to play, and that shows where he's been actually playing. It's in that 4-1-4-1 system, but more precisely on the left-hand side of the pitch. So look, Mikel loves to play in a 4-3-3 system, and I think this will not change. I've seen him play a 4-1-4-1 at times when we are in possession. I've seen him play a 3-5-2 as well when we are in possession, but he predominantly sets up in a 4-2-3-1 that transitions into a 4-3-3 in attack and also in possession as well. So MYKYAYLO, that means the role he plays for Arsenal, or the role that we actually take on at Arsenal, will not be very different from what he's been doing at Shakhtar and what he's been doing at Ukraine. Actually, I think it's gonna be more of a cut and copy when it comes to Arsenal. So this is how we line up as a team, especially this season. Gabriel Martinelli on the left, Gabriel Jesus down to the middle, and Bukayo Saka on the right-hand side of the pitch. We've had Martin Odegaard as a number 10, but when we line up in a 4-3-3 formation, it means it's a flight line of Odegaard, Partey, and Granit Xhaka. In defense, it has always been that back four that really has a significant way of determining who plays on the wings and also who plays in midfield. Because at times it has been Ben White, at times it has been Tomiyasu, Saliba, Gabriel Magalhaes, and Alexander Zinchenko. I think the big question many Arsenal fans will be asking themselves is, does the arrival of MYKYAYLO actually change how we line up? In my opinion, my answer is no. I don't think it actually changes how we line up. It's going to be the same lineup. It's going to be the same formation. just a different kind of addition, and a player who I think is, has the ability to adapt to this starting lineup. So the first way MYKYAYLO MUDRYK can line up Arsenal is by replacing Gabriel Martinelli. That is if all players are fit. So like we said, it's played like this. It's played in that area more predominantly than any other area at Ukraine. You can see there on that lineup when they beat Scotland, when they actually lost to Scotland 3-0, but also in that Shakhtar game when they lost 2-1 to Real Madrid. Again, that is where he plays in a 4-1-4-1 system. So in a 4-3-3, it's more like a cut and copy. MYKYAYLO will play him there on the left-hand side of the pitch. And is he better than Gabriel Martinelli? Probably yes, in a few aspects of the game. But I think Gabriel Martinelli has done this in the Premier League. He's done it on a bigger stage than MYKYAYLO MUDRYK. This is us being very, very harsh, but it is what we expect to see. So we expect him to be linking up with with Xhaka on this left hand side, with Alexander Zinchenko as well, and then at times Thomas Partey and Gabriel Jesus. That is what I expect to see the moment we sign him. That is off-head. That is what we're gonna see off-head from Mikel Arteta, unless he has he's got a very special role for MYKYAYLO MUDRYK, because Gabriel Jesus is injured. And we also get there, when Jesus is injured, what do? Does Martinelli shift into the middle, or does MYKYAYLO MUDRYK shift into the middle? So the advantages of playing him here on the left-hand side are quite very, very visible. When we were doing that live stream, you guys literally pointed out every aspect of his game. And I think the best thing to talk about here is his ability to dribble and his ability to isolate players in 1v1 situations. So he's one player that we will see much of the time running from the center line, or probably at times even deeper from these areas, trying to stretch the pitch as much as possible. And then because of his electric nature, because of his mojos and everything, he's gonna be attracting a lot of opponents on the wider on the wider areas of the pitch. That will create a lot of space for Saka and a lot of space for Gabriel Jesus as well. So I think that's the first advantage. Is he better than Gabriel Martinelli in 1v1 situations? I'll leave that for the comment section. Let me know what you think about that. Is he better than Gabriel Martinelli in 1v1 situations? I feel like Martinelli is quite electric. I feel like Martinelli is quite very good in those situations. But let me know what you think about that. Is he better than Gabriel Martinelli? So what you get with him, apart from those wide runs and ball carriage that he actually does very well, he's also got the ability to come inside and cut inside. I think this is one thing that really, really Arsenal fans love. As one reason I always wanted Jack Grealish to sign for Arsenal. His ability to cut inside, his ability to come on the ball, come with the ball, but then cut inside and have a goal at goal. That is one thing that Gabriel Martinelli is lacking. But of course, I know he is very young and he will improve with time. So the other thing you'll be getting, because Xhaka plays in a very, very high and advanced area here, Xhaka will be able to have a player that he can actually combine with in these advanced areas. Either MYKYAYLO MUDRYK making this kind of runs to the byline and then crossing the ball back for Xhaka to meet it in these areas. That is number one. We might also see something that we actually rarely see, where MYKYAYLO MUDRYK provides the balls through for Granit Xhaka to run onto. And I think that will be actually quite fascinating. For a person like me who has said that Xhaka will score 10 goals plus in the Premier League, that is something I would really, really love to see. So that is the first role that MYKYAYLO MUDRYK can play for Mikel Arteta and Arsenal on the left-hand side of the pitch, combining with Xhaka and Alexander Zinchenko. Because Zinchenko comes here well in possession, because he joins Partey in midfield together with either Tomiyasu or Ben White. That means that MYKYAYLO MUDRYK and Granit Xhaka have a lot of liberty and space to walk into, not even minding that there is space to cover in here. Because what you have to do, what you have to know is that Alexander Zinchenko is always right here covering the back of Xhaka and covering the back of MYKYAYLO MUDRYK as well. And of course, you have the likes of Gabriel Magalhaes coming in to cover, and Saliba as well. So I think if you're going to play him there, he's going to be an instant success. But then the other way you can play him, of course, is by reintroducing Gabriel Martinelli back in the side. Xhaka, of course, is always there. Gabriel Jesus as well. And then dropping Bukayo Saka out of the starting 11. Now, this is something that I really don't think is going to happen very soon, but it can happen. Of course, we had the debate, and we said probably the word is not dropping, but the word is resting and rotating. So allowing Saka some kind of time to, rest, rotate him here and there on a few occasions. That is where MYKYAYLO MUDRYK could actually come in. I don't know why I named him shot number 90, but yeah, let's go with that. So with the beauty with MYKYAYLO MUDRYK is the same as Bukayo Saka. They're both left-footed, and that makes them inverted wingers on the right-hand side of the pitch. I think Saka really does it very, very well for me. Saka, I'm trying to find any other player that actually does it very well than Saka in the Premier League. The inverted winger role. I think Saka is the best at this, to be honest. I think Saka, yeah, he's the best at this. So what you will get in MYKYAYLO MUDRYK, this could be very, very easy. The partnership between him and Martin Odegaard would be very, very fascinating because he loves making those runs and Odegaard loves making those passes. He always does when Saka plays with him on the right. So we would see MYKYAYLO MUDRYK getting into more and occupying those dangerous positions from the right-hand side. But then, just imagine this with this very silky, soft and very, very good left boot, him coming inside and having shots from this area, at times this area, at times this area as well. We've seen it at times him doing it for Shakhtar, but he does it on the left-hand side of the pitch. So I think the versatility that Mikel Arteta wants, the versatility that Mikel Arteta sees in MYKYAYLO MUDRYK includes him being able to play as an inverted winger. And yeah, I think it would really, really work. In my opinion, it would really work because I've seen Saka do it, and it has actually, it has actually worked for him. And then the other thing you have is if you have a player on the left or on the right, and that player is actually left-footed, it means you're going to have a lot of advantages against fullbacks. Saka's actually enjoyed that much of the time. He beats fullbacks all the way because he has the option to drop inside. He has the option to drop on his left. Then he has the option to just drop inside on his right. So he has a lot of avenues as compared to Gabriel Martinelli, who either has to go this way or just carry himself into the penalty area and wait for balls coming in from Saka and Gabriel Jesus. So what I think here is the second way you use MYKYAYLO MUDRYK and how he fits in is when he comes in to replace Bukayo Saka. The third one is quite interesting, and I don't know whether you guys will actually agree with this, is when both Saka and Gabriel Martinelli make it to the starting lineup, but then Gabriel Jesus drops out of the starting lineup, just like now he's injured, and then MYKYAYLO MUDRYK plays as a false nine. Now, I've seen with a few publications and a few journalists that Mikel Arteta is really, really passionate about playing MYKYAYLO MUDRYK everywhere and anywhere he would feel like. And I feel like they're talking about him replacing Gabriel Jesus. The question for me, does he have the abilities? Does he have those facets? Does he have those aspects that allow him play as a false nine or allow him play in that position, fill the boots of Gabriel Jesus? In my opinion, it might be somehow over-exaggerated. Because if you look at the role of Mikel Arteta has created for Gabriel Jesus and what Gabriel Jesus actually does, it is not really that easy, right? So what Gabriel Jesus does is, he drops inside in these areas, creating a lot of space in this, creating a lot of space here for Martinelli, Saka, Xhaka, and then Martin Odegaard to actually run into. And that is why you've seen that most of our goals are actually spread out. And it's not one player having our goals, okay? It's actually, many players scoring our goals. It's not a mistake. It is something that Mikel has done cautiously. It's something that Mikel has gone, I think, if I have Gabriel Jesus, many of my players will be scoring goals, across the page. So, can MYKYAYLO MUDRYK give us that? Is it a player that can actually, give us that level of, intensity up front, that level of, hold-up play up front? I do not think so. I think he's a very, very different kind of guy. He's very similar to Jack Grealish. And if he played here, it would be fascinating to see the results if he played there. But in my opinion, he's either going to play on the left or play on the right. And then probably down through the middle, it's always going to be either Martinelli or Eddie Nketiah. But let me know what you think about how he actually fits in. What do you think? How exactly do Arsenal line up with MYKYAYLO MUDRYK? I will be doing a more comprehensive lineup with Tielemans, MUDRYK, Danilo, and all the potential targets. Maybe how do they, change our starting lineup? I really don't think we're going to sign anyone that's going to bring that massive impact and then change the whole lineup or change the whole system. It's going to stay a 4-2-3-1, a 4-3-3 system that is actually using an elbow system from Mikel Arteta. Hit the like button if you enjoy videos like this because they're coming your way this December and January.